Morning, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope everyone is having a nice Wednesday morning. Things are expected to get maybe a little bit noisy here as we head over the course of the next hour, as we're expecting some thunderstorm activity to move through Lincoln, Lancaster County, parts of eastern and southeastern Nebraska. So again, just kind of jumping right in. This is the satellite and radar loop over the last couple hours. We had a little weak disturbance, shouldn't necessarily weak, disturbance moving out of the Dakotas. So these are thunderstorms last night, again, 10:30, 11 o'clock, that were kind of north of I-90 in South Dakota. And now, again, strong thunderstorms, not severe, but strong thunderstorms beginning to kind of push into the I-80 corridor. And again, beginning to impact Omaha Metro, and then likely going to be impacting the Lincoln Metro here as we head over the course of the next hour or so. So again, what we have out there right now is not severe, but again, they are fairly robust thunderstorms, and again, we could see as these storms move through, wind gusts potentially upwards of around 50 miles an hour or so, along with some areas of heavy rain. And again, you can see with the lightning on the radar there, areas of lightning as well. So again, this certainly looks like it's going to impact the morning commute as folks again get out and start their Wednesday. It should blow through, I think, fairly quickly, so it's not going to hang around again all day. I think by this afternoon, again, things should quiet down, but again, this will certainly impact the morning commute. If you look at the observed precip so far, over the last 24 hours, already up at Epley. Again, these thunderstorms pushing through, they picked up almost an inch of moisture. So again, we could see some really heavy rain in a short period of time as these thunderstorms move through. A little bit lighter amounts for Columbus, Norfolk, about a half an inch in Tacoma. So again, that's kind of where things stand right now. Again, we can kind of see as we look at Lincoln Skyview, again, kind of see a little bit of that shelf cloud, again, kind of way off in the distance there as we kind of look off to the north. So again, punch the radar back up here. Again, this line of thunderstorms, which again is not severe, but it is, again, strong and could produce some gusty winds and areas of heavy rain, beginning to push into kind of the far northern tier of Lancaster County again. So again, folks in Ceresco, Valparaiso, Dwight, over towards Ashland, Louisville, Springfield, Plattsmouth, again, going to start to see these storms begin to push into the area in just the next few minutes. So this is the storm tracker radar. Put it into loop mode here. Again, you can see not severe, but again, that gust front that you can kind of see in that little thin green line there, racing out ahead of these thunderstorms, pushing through the Lincoln Metro now. So again, if we do see some gusty winds out there before these storms arrive, again, likely is that gust front that's pushing through the area. So again, heavy rain, gusty winds, a little bit of lightning as these storms move through. If I go ahead and pause this, again, zoom in, again, really just to the north of Lancaster County right now, pushing across portions of Saunders County, and then again up into the Omaha Metro as well. They've already, again, seen some areas of heavy rain, almost an inch of rain reported up at Epley. So again, that's what we're going to be dealing with as we head likely over the course of the next hour. Again, doesn't extend all that too far back to the west. Again, sort of Stromsburg, Seward, kind of the western edge of this line. So again, not going to necessarily impact everyone, but again, for us here in far eastern and southeastern Nebraska, we will see these storms push on through as we head over the course of the next hour. So again, back looking at the satellite radar loop over the course of the last 4 hours. We zoom out here. Again, we can see kind of where this line of thunderstorms kind of started, pushing out of South Dakota. Again, I mentioned it late last night. Again, these storms were north of I-90, and so when I left the studios last night, that's where they were. So they have tracked quite a few miles to finally get here. And again, as we kind of look at some of the modeling and some of the stuff here, I will say in-house model and a lot of the short-term convective allowing models really not doing a great job at picking up some of this activity, which again, it's kind of been the case over the last week or two. Models have really kind of struggled to pick up some of this activity, which is really quite unfortunate. So we'll make sure we'll go back to the thunderstorms, but we'll kind of keep going with the rest of the stuff here. But again, you can see the rainfall amounts There across northeastern Nebraska. Again, I mentioned Omaha picking up already just under an inch. Storm Lake up in northwest Iowa, about an inch and a half from some of these thunderstorms that have pushed on through. And again, the storms top our weather headlines as we head into the day, expecting stormy conditions as we head over the next hour to hour and a half for southeastern Nebraska. And then this afternoon, I think overall pretty quiet conditions, but we are going to be seeing hot and humid conditions return to the area, not only today, but over the next several days as well. And then we're going to keep an eye on some chances for some rain and some cooler temperatures as we head into the weekend. So the numbers from yesterday, not bad. The numbers actually a few degrees below average, 86 and 64 for a high and low here in Lincoln. Average is 89 and 66. Just 0.15 of an inch of rain so far this month in Lincoln. And you can see, again, we're 5.5 inches below normal for the year. So, again, if we can get some of these thunderstorms to blow through and give us a decent amount of rain and we don't necessarily have to deal with a whole bunch of severe weather, that would really be the best case scenario. Again, so we'll keep our fingers crossed that that's what we can see. Low temperatures this morning, anywhere from the low 60s to the low 70s out there, including 71 at the Lincoln Airport. If you look at the Tempest weather stations across town, low 70s for those morning lows. And if you look at the current conditions, again, we can see the stormy conditions right now up in Omaha. And actually, maybe I want to punch up, see if I think I have it here. Yeah, here's the current view from our Omaha Skycam at the Kiewit Luminarium. And again, you can see the stormy conditions, camera kind of bouncing around just a little bit. And again, obviously some areas of heavy rain falling right there in the Omaha metro. And again, that is some of the activity that we could be seeing push through the Lincoln area here in just the next probably half hour to 45 minutes or so. So again, but you can see the sky views. Most areas of the state, things are pretty quiet. But again, here in eastern and far southeastern Nebraska, things are a little bit louder. So right now, 73 at the studios, 71 at the airport. Southeast wind at around 10 miles an hour. Dew points are in the middle 60s for us. Again, dew point temperatures are going to continue to be high as we head through the day today and really again over the next several days. And again, that's going to be adding to our feels like temperatures out there and again making things feel just a little bit uncomfortable. Temperatures on the Tempest stations right now are in the lower 70s. And if you look at temperatures across the state, anywhere from the mid 60s to the low to mid 70s. Warmest readings right now are in Hebron. They're at 73, at 72 in Beatrice. Again, 71 here at the 1011 studios, 70 in Nebraska City. And again, those areas that have been seeing some rain, Norfolk, Columbus, Tacoma, Omaha, those temperatures are down into the mid 60s this morning. Dew point numbers, though, again, generally sitting in the 60s. So again, they're high, but they're not horrible. We've certainly seen more humid conditions than this, but again, they're going to remain high enough to make things as sticky as we head through the day today and over the coming days. Winds out there, again, generally we're going to see a southerly or southeasterly wind today, but again, with some of those thunderstorms moving through eastern Nebraska, that wind kind of all over the place a little bit. North wind at 24 miles an hour in York, south wind at 9 miles an hour here in Lincoln, northeast at 17 in Columbus. And again, here's a look at the satellite radar picture. Those storms beginning to, again, continuing to push to the south at about 30 to 35 miles an hour. Again, there's going to be moving into northern portions of Lancaster County just the next few minutes. And again, likely going to be pushing through Lincoln, likely over the course of the next half an hour to 45 minutes or so before they continue to push through southeastern sections of the state as we continue then through the morning hours. So again, some areas of heavy rain, gusty winds, I think wind gusts 30, 40, 50 miles an hour are going to be possible. And again, some areas of heavy rain, there's actually a flood advisory that's been currently issued for the Omaha, Council Bluffs area through this morning. Again, reports here that manhole cover popped off with some of the areas of heavy rain up in Omaha. National Weather Service saying rain rates quite high with the leading edge of storms moving through the area. Radar estimating instantaneous rates approaching 4 to 4.5 inches per hour. So we're closely monitoring the area for flooding. If you have any water problems, let us know. So again, very efficient rain-producing thunderstorms moving through the area. And so again, heavy rain likely would be our primary threat. Go along with then the potential for some damaging wind gusts as well. If you zoom out, look at a statewide view. Otherwise, again, most of the state dealing with a pretty quiet start to the morning. But again, it's going to be across the eastern and southeastern sections of the state that we continue to deal with some of these stormy conditions as we start our morning. Regional view, again, you can see that line of thunderstorms. Again, these are storms that originated out of portions of North Dakota and South Dakota last night. They had a tornado watch there last night. Again, those storms evolving into this MCS, this mesoscale convective system, transitioning to that damaging wind threat and heavy rain threat, and then basically just diving to the south, traveling along I-29 through portions of South Dakota and now into Nebraska. Nationally, again, things for the most part pretty quiet. Again, most of the activity that we have across the country is right here across portions of eastern and southeastern Nebraska. So our weather alerts, not a whole lot going on. Again, have some red flag warnings, some heat headlines across the western portions of the country, some flood watches across the portions of Georgia and Carolina. Again, still have some air quality alerts out there for portions of Wisconsin, Michigan, things like that. Here at home, though, again, no immediate headlines. We do have that flood advisory, though, that was just issued for the Omaha area, and we'll continue to watch, again, for the potential for any additional sort of flooding headlines as these storms move through. So SkyCast regional view, you can see our in-house model has some activity this morning, but again, it's not doing a great job picking up on this pretty, again, robust line of storms moving through the area. Again, this line is going to blow through as we head over the next hour or two for eastern Nebraska. Then I think by the afternoon, we should be dealing with mostly sunny, much quieter conditions, but hot and humid conditions across the area for us as we head through the remainder of Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening. And then over the next couple days, we're going to keep an eye on some small chances for rain in the forecast. There's going to be a stationary boundary kind of off to our north and to our west that's going to kind of slowly meander its way down to the south as we head over the next couple days. Weak disturbances aloft, kind of bringing in some of these hit and miss showers and thunderstorms. Most of the activity, I think, is going to be mainly across the northern plains, the Dakotas. But again, Friday afternoon, Friday evening could be a better chance for maybe a little bit more widespread activity across the area as that frontal boundary eventually kind of makes its way back into the area. So rainfall amounts over the next several days, obviously going to be highest across extreme eastern and southeastern Nebraska, where we have the thunderstorms moving through right now. But over the next couple days at least, it should be fairly quiet. Those rainfall chances will pop back up, though, as we head into the weekend next week, where that stationary boundary kind of eventually settles across the area and then stalls out. And you can see areas, especially across parts of Iowa into extreme northwestern Missouri, could see some areas of heavy rain along that stalled out frontal boundary, including, again, for parts of eastern and southeastern Nebraska as well. So it's certainly something that we'll keep a close eye on. So severe threat today. Storms we have moving through are not severe, but they're certainly packing a punch. But we do have a marginal risk for severe weather. So, again, certainly wouldn't rule out maybe some 60, 65 mile an hour wind gusts with some of these storms that are moving through. Severe weather outlook for the day tomorrow. There's a marginal risk in the Sandhills, parts of western Nebraska. But again, it's Friday that, we have a marginal and slight risk covering most of the state. So again, that would likely be our best chance to maybe see a little bit more widespread activity before those rain chances continue into the upcoming weekend. So if we zoom in, take a closer look, statewide view, SkyCast, again, our in-house model not doing a great job picking up the thunderstorm activity we obviously have in eastern Nebraska this morning. But as we head through the morning, those storms will continue to dive to the south and southeast through the southeastern corner of the state. I think by this afternoon, we should see quieter conditions, mostly to partly sunny skies, hot, humid conditions, could even be a bit on the breezy side at times for us. And then into Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, I think we're generally quiet. There's a small chance we could see a pop-up shower or thunderstorm, but I think most areas by that time are likely dry. Into the day on Thursday, should be looking at mostly sunny skies for a lot of central and eastern Nebraska. Again, hot, humid conditions expected, dry conditions expected. There could be a storm in the far west. And then into the day on Friday, again, more sunshine, more hot, humid, more breezy conditions. But we will see the threat, I think, Friday afternoon, Friday evening for some additional showers and thunderstorms, which could be on the strong to severe side. That threat the chance for rain then will then continue into the upcoming weekend. So high temperatures today, again, it's going to be anywhere from the mid-80s to the low to mid-90s. Warmest readings in the west and southwest. Coolest readings in the northeast. Here in Lincoln, we'll say right around 89, so fairly seasonal for us. Low temperatures tonight, mid to upper 60s, low 70s. High temperatures tomorrow, though, take a step forward Upper 80s to low to mid 90s for the eastern half of the state, but mid to upper 90s and even triple digits for western Nebraska for the day on Thursday. And again, feels like temperatures will be even higher. Friday morning, mid 60s to mid 70s, and then Friday afternoon is likely our hottest day here in Lincoln with a forecasted high of 96. But you can see we're well into the 90s and even the triple digits across the state for the day on Friday. So again, some very hot, very humid conditions expected for us as we head over the next few days. So I want to go back to the satellite radar picture again as we're keeping an eye on these thunderstorms that are moving through the area. Again, very slowly. I feel like beginning to kind of push into the northern portions of Lancaster County. Again, we've had that gust front that's kind of moved through and even have some new cells beginning to kind of pop up across portions of eastern Lancaster County, just kind of over near the Waverly area. So again, if you're out and about early this morning, we are going to be dealing with some of these strong thunderstorms pushing through the area. But again, these are not severe thunderstorms. These are still below severe limits. We're thinking on the high end, we could see some winds gusting 30, 40 to 50 miles an hour, which is, again, still plenty high enough again, to potentially have some tree damage. Anytime you're talking about, potential tree damage, you're also talking about at least the potential maybe for some power outages to go along with it there. So again, here's the storm tracker radar. Again, we can see this line of storms extending from almost near Utica, just north of Seward, over towards Ceresco, Ashland, Louisville, and then over to Plattsmouth. And again, as I mentioned, we have that one little cell that's popped up here just basically near Waverly in just the last few minutes. So again, these storms about 15 or so miles to the north of sort of the northern Lincoln metro, and they're moving generally to the south and to the southeast at about 30 to 40 miles an hour here. So punching up, this is the radar loop over the course of the last hour. Again, you can see that cell popping up near Waverly here in just the last few minutes. So we're going to keep an eye on all of this. I'm going to punch back up. This is a look from Lincoln Skyview, again looking off to the north. And again, we can see it's a little bit darker. We can see some of the cloud cover there. Again, as we're watching some of these thunderstorms begin to try and push into, again, the northern portions of Lancaster County. So again, probably our primary threat would be for some areas of heavy rain to go along with some of those gusty winds and some lightning as well. So again, this will impact the morning commute if you're out early. Again, we could see some heavy rain. So again, just one of those things. Take it easy, take it slow out there. If you do run into some of those areas of heavy rain, give yourself some extra following distance, things like that. So again, it is a fairly narrow line of storms, though. And again, it is not expected to impact the area necessarily all morning or all day. I think this will blow through pretty quickly. As they do, again, we'll see the gusty winds, we'll see the heavy rain. But then behind it, again, we should see things really dry out, I think, after this line moves through. And so that is the good news. This is not going to necessarily be an all-day event, but with the moisture, it does drop. Again, certainly will add to some of the stickiness and some of the humidity that we're going to have through the day today. So nothing severe out there right now, so that is the good news. But again, we are going to continue to watch these thunderstorms as they continue to, again, kind of line up and get ready to move through the area here over the next few minutes. So I want to go back here real quick. I want to go back to our forecast that we were talking about and punch up your Lincoln 7-day forecast, because, again, we're going to see those hot, humid conditions over the next several days. With kind of some off and on rain chances. And there we go. So, again, upper 80s today, about where we should be for this time of year, so actually a fairly seasonal August day for us today. Obviously, we think that 20% probably going to be a little bit higher now at this point with where these storms have kind of lined up. But then mid-90s both Thursday and Friday, and again, feels like temperatures will likely be pushing into the triple digits. I'm not sure if we'll quite get to the heat index, or not heat index, heat advisory criteria. There could be some spots. Again, you have to be above a certain number. It's about 105 degrees. I think we'll be pretty close to that number. I don't know if we'll necessarily exceed that number, but we'll have to watch. We could see some heat advisories issued as we head into the upcoming weekend. That cold front, that stationary front that kind of stalls out across the area, it settles into the area as we head Friday into the weekend. So that will offer us, again, some cooler weather Saturday, Sunday. Again, seasonal for Saturday, maybe a few degrees below average on Sunday, but you can see the increased rain chances And then early next week, low 80s to start the week. And then LPS kids heading back to school next Tuesday should see, again, looks like fairly seasonal temperatures at this point with upper 80s with mostly sunny, mainly dry conditions across the area. 10-day forecast, again, looks like this. Temperatures kind of up and down. Again, average to above average over the next few days, kind of dipping average to below average then into the weekend into early next week. And then we're kind of back up average to just above average as we head through the work week next week. Dew point numbers, again, are going to be high. It's going to be sticky over the next few days. It looks like maybe middle part of the week next week we could see some relief from some of the high humidity, but again, overall over the next 7 days or so, we should look for some pretty sticky conditions. Rainfall chances, again, obviously going to be very high for far eastern, southeastern Nebraska this morning, but then kind of off and on, hit and miss for us as we head over the next few days. 8 to 14-day temperature outlook, again, continues to favor above average temperatures as we head through the middle parts of August. This is August 13th through August 19th, and drier than average conditions as we head through that time as well. So again, we'd really like to see as much rain as we can get, especially with this cluster of storms that we have moving through right now, because again, certainly in the long-range forecast, it looks like it is trending a little bit drier than normal across the area. And again, here in Lincoln, and for a lot of parts of eastern, southeastern Nebraska, we have kind of missed out on a lot of the rain so far this season. Still have some areas of drought that we saw, again, the latest drought monitor that was released last week. So, again, back here to the satellite radar picture. Again, does look like now that little cell in Waverly, you can put this into loop mode here, that popped up over Waverly, seeing some additional development with that back across the kind of northern and northeastern portions of the Lincoln Metro in just the last few minutes here. So again, storms beginning to impact the Lincoln Metro. Again, we are not expecting necessarily any widespread severe weather with these thunderstorms, but again, we could see some heavy rain. Again, these thunderstorms have proved themselves to be efficient rain-producing thunderstorms over the course of the last hour or so, especially again up in the Omaha Metro, where they have a flood advisory that was issued for the Omaha and Council Bluffs areas. But again, a lot of moisture for these thunderstorms to work with, both in the low levels and in the mid and upper levels. So again, they could produce very efficiently a lot of rain as they move through. And then along with the heavy rain threat, we would also see the threat for some gusty winds. You know, we're talking winds along the leading edge of these storms, maybe gusting 30, 40, 50 miles an hour. We've also seen a few reports of some small hail, some dimed and nickel-sized hail with these thunderstorms as well. So not expecting any widespread severe weather, but again, a line of strong storms kind of pushing through. So again, not to be dismissed out of hand, but certainly something that we want to keep an eye on as we head over the course of the next hour or so as these storms kind of move through. So we'll go ahead and we'll pause it. Again, kind of zoom in, kind of take a look at where this leading edge is. And again, just moved through the Plattsmouth area. That's where we did get one of the reports of some hail, some nickel-sized hail in Plattsmouth. But again, in far eastern Nebraska, kind of just along and to the north of Highway 1, and then stretching into portions of Lancaster County. We've seen some of these additional cells pop up ahead of this line across the northeastern portions of Lancaster County, and then into the northeastern portions of the Lincoln Metro as well. Otherwise, that leading edge of that storm is kind of right along and just right along Highway 66 in northern Lancaster County and into portions of southern Saunders County. So again, folks in Ceresco kind of seeing this line really begin to push through. Folks in Ashland, again, seeing this line push through over towards Valparaiso and Dwight. And then the far western edge is kind of right over near Utica, just to the north of Highway 34. And again, so that's the western extent of this line, and haven't really seen any indications that we'd see any back building of this line even further to the west. Not expecting any activity necessarily to develop further to the west over towards York County or things like that. And here at 40th and Vine, just hearing now some of that rain beginning to fall here in the Lincoln Metro. I'm going to punch back up. This is Lincoln Skyview. Again, you can see some of the raindrops beginning to fall. Careful going outside, Megan. It's raining. Oh, she might melt. Megan Conway heading outside. Take a look at the rain that's now falling here in the capital city. Again, we can see from Lincoln Skyview some of those areas of rain beginning to fall now in the capital city. Back on over to the radar. some heavier rain begins to fall now here in Lincoln. Again, latest radar scan has some additional cells beginning to pop up across kind of the northwestern portions of Lincoln and Lancaster County. Again, kind of out near Malcolm, out near, again, Highway 79 and Highway 34 interchange. And then over on the west side of town, out near West Adams, just north of, or basically right along the interstate. So again, some of these cells popping up again right over Lincoln and Lancaster County now at this point. If we zoom way in and kind of go street level right now, again, the heaviest sort of pocket of rain here in the capital city across the northeastern part of town, kind of almost just along into the south of Highway 6, stretching from, we're going to go ahead and do this, stretching from, that's got to be, let's zoom in here even further. Between about 70th and probably about 40th Street, between about Layton and Havelock is where we're seeing probably some of the heaviest rainfall right now with these storms here in Lincoln. Again, we could also see some small hail mixed in with these. Again, not expecting necessarily large hail, but we have had some reports with some of these storms of nickel to dime-sized hail already this morning, to go along with, again, the reports of some heavy rain with some of these thunderstorms as well. So, again, go back into loop mode here. This is over the course of the last hour. These storms popping up just ahead of the main line. Again, you saw that first little green line move through. That was the gust front from the outflow from this main line of thunderstorms, and these additional storms developing as that outflow kind of moved through the area. So we zoom back out. We look at a wide view of this line of storms. Again, still should say this is not a line of severe thunderstorms. These are just, kind of strong thunderstorms that are moving through. Again, efficient rain-producing thunderstorms that could produce some areas of heavy rain, some gusty winds, and a little bit of lightning as well. But again, as I've said already a couple times, this will impact the morning commute. Again, looking outside 1011 parking lot, it's raining pretty good. And again, pretty dark outside as well. So I want to see if I can punch back up. Again, this is live look from our Skycam. 40th and Vine here in Lincoln, and it does not look like, this is our camera at the Lincoln Children's Zoo, doesn't look like it's raining there yet necessarily, but again, you can see some of the trees moving, some of the canopies there, again, so you can kind of see the gusty winds. This is a live look from our Beaver Crossing Skycam, again, kind of looking back towards Lincoln. Again, you can see kind of some of the dark clouds and things like that, but again, nothing necessarily overly threatening there in that image. So going back to the satellite or the storm tracker radar picture here, again, those storms developing pretty quickly here over the course of the last half an hour across the northern portions of Lancaster County. We'll go ahead and pause this. We'll zoom back in. Again, that southern edge is kind of just along and to the north of O Street now. Again, so some areas of heavy rain kind of across north central and northeastern Nebraska, certainly across the Havelock area. Megan Conway can confirm to us, she did step outside, that it is in fact still raining. So that is a good report to have. So again, southern Lincoln right now, again, is generally dry, but folks in southern part of town are looking to the north and seeing some of the dark conditions and some of the rainy conditions. And so again, this isn't necessarily the main line. Again, that main line is still just to the north, again, pushing across the northern portions of Lancaster County. And kind of notice there, I feel like in the last few radar frames, maybe some weakening on the radar there of that main line. Doesn't look maybe necessarily quite as robust. I would certainly say, I think with this little line of storms, the strongest kind of area in it is going to be this area pushing through portions of Cass and Douglas County. So again, kind of over near Union. Again, Syracuse, Nebraska City, will want to keep an eye on that line. Again, that's the area where we have seen some reports of some hail with this storm. Otherwise, again, it's been some areas of heavy rain and some gusty winds. So I haven't necessarily seen any reports just yet of any wind gusts from across the area. I'm going to punch up here, see if we can see, since it is just about the top of the hour. the Lincoln Skyview current conditions. So again, you can see the rain on the Skyview lens in Lincoln and in Omaha. Here in Lincoln, well, there you go. Winds gusting up to 56 miles an hour at the Lincoln Airport. So again, that's certainly strong enough to potentially do a little bit of damage out there, potentially a little tree damage. So trash cans could end up down the street a little bit with winds that are that strong. So again, that was just at the top of the hour there. Winds sustained at about 40 miles an hour and gusting up to about 56 miles an hour, which is just under again, severe thunderstorm criteria. Again, severe thunderstorm has to have at least 1 inch hail, 58 mile an hour wind gusts, or a tornado. And so that's just under that threshold. So a strong thunderstorm. Again, still no severe thunderstorm warnings out, but a pretty strong thunderstorm, again, moving through the Lincoln area right now. And again, especially across out near the airport where they measured that wind gust of 56 miles an hour. 72 otherwise at the airport and at the studios. Dew point at 66. Producer Katie just walked in, and it looks like she got all wet. She's just had to walk through the rain to get into the building. So again, going back to the satellite radar loop, again, this is over the course of the last 4 hours for us now. Again, you can see this line of storms dropping to the south, and with some of that outflow, again, we've seen some of these additional thunderstorms begin to pop up right now in the Lincoln metro. So we're obviously going to keep an eye on those. Raining pretty good right now, especially the northern half of town. Southern Lincoln hasn't quite seen these move through just yet, but again, you'll have your turn in just a little bit. Again, heavy rain, some efficient rain producing thunderstorms, gusty winds. Again, we just looked at that. Lincoln Airport just recorded a wind gust of 56 miles an hour. So again, back to the storm tracker radar, zooming in here. Again, most of the activity, almost all the activity is still basically just along into the north of O Street. Again, the cell that was kind of over the northeastern part of town does look like it's weakened some on the radar here. Not quite as much as a deep of red or widespread of red, but again, still seeing some areas of very heavy rain. Again, especially once you get north of O Street, between about 84th Street and about 40th Street or so. Over in the northwestern corner of town, again, certainly over near Northwest 84th Street, Northwest 105th Street, out again, West Holdridge area, kind of sandwiched between Highway 34 and Interstate 80. Again, that's where we're seeing some of those areas of heavy rain kind of in the northwest side of town. Again, kind of out near the airport, which is where, again, that strong wind gust would have been measured. So again, southern half of town still kind of waiting for their thunderstorm activity to push through. We put this back into loop mode over the course of the last hour. These storms popping up really very quickly over the course of the last really just 20 minutes or so. So that gust front, that outflow moved through, and these thunderstorms popping up behind it. The main line of thunderstorms, again, still just to the north. And again, again, seeing a little weakening trends, I feel like, on the radar, especially over here, kind of in this area, where, storms looked a little bit stronger, but now in just the last few minutes, radar trends not quite as strong or as intense. So again, folks in Seward, again, it looked like at one point you might see some decent thunderstorms, but now not quite as much. So again, the line itself maybe weakening some, at least for kind of the western portions of this line of thunderstorms, because right now I think by far and away the strongest part of this line right now is going to be over here, kind of from Weeping Water over to Union and then into portions of southwest Iowa. And again, that's right now where we're thinking where the best hail potential is with some of these storms, over portions of Cass and Mills County into portions of Iowa. And again, if you look at the loop mode here, you can kind of see that trend over the course of the last hour. We can also you can see a little too. This is where this line is kind of bowing out, maybe just a little bit. So again, that's where we could also see some intense winds. But I think right now that's where the strongest part of this line of thunderstorms is. And again, still nothing severe out there. Again, we did have the wind gust up to 56 miles an hour at the Lincoln Airport. 58 is what we'd need to be considered a severe thunderstorm. So again, nothing severe out there right now, but a strong line of storms moving through the area. Again, raining pretty good. Again, especially again up in Omaha, they had. I should punch that back up. They had just under an inch of rain not too long ago. Again, we should have gotten an update at the top of the hour. Maybe see how much additional rain they had. Again, they did issue, National Weather Service in Omaha did issue a flood advisory for the Omaha and Council Bluffs area. Well, that's weird. I don't know what my computer's doing now. Now it's saying 1200s at Epley when it was saying 9100s earlier. So maybe this is observed precip over the last 24 hours. So maybe I was a little confused there, as maybe some of that rain was from last night. I'm not 100% sure. So either way, we've had some reports of heavy rains, again, up in the Omaha metro area, flood advisory issued in those areas. Nothing here in Lincoln or Lancaster County as these storms continue to push through. But, again, a lot of heavy rain out there. Report in Louisville, Cass County, a rainfall rate of about 3 inches per hour. So, again, that's a pretty good rainfall rate moving through the area. So again, these aren't going to, measure rainfall rates 2, 3, 4 inches per hour. That's some really heavy rain. But the thing is a lot of times these storms don't last for an hour across the area. They move through pretty quickly. So again, back to the storm tracker radar here. Again, we can see probably those strongest thunderstorms again just off probably to the east of the Lincoln area. If we pause it there again, kind of just right now, just along into the north of Highway 34 in Cass County there, and then stretching into portions of western Iowa. Again, that's Avoca, Union, Odo, Dunbar, Nebraska City. Again, I think folks there in portions of Cass County. Again, we'll want to watch this little line as it kind of clips, again, the eastern portions there of Cass County. Otherwise, again, back here at home in Lincoln and Lancaster County, some of these storms finally pushing south of O Street, kind of pushing now into the southern portions of the Lincoln Metro. Again, right here and smack in the middle part of the Metro is where we're seeing some of the heavier thunderstorm activity now, or heavier rainfall. This is kind of sandwiched between, we'll call it 16th Street and 56th Street. And along and just to the south of call it between O Street and Calvert. Again, so right in the middle parts of Lincoln, Lancaster County is where we're seeing at least some of that heavier rain. Again, still have some heavier thunderstorm activity out in West Lincoln and Northwest Lincoln out near the airport. Again, you can see some of the reds there on the radar. So again, heavy rain, gusty winds. Again, maybe some small hail mixed in as well. But again, not a severe thunderstorm, but a good thunderstorm. Again, like I said, if we can get a decent amount of rain out of this and not have to necessarily deal with any widespread severe weather, that's really going to be the best of both worlds. Because again, here in Lincoln, we're over 5 inches short of where we should be for our rainfall for the year. So again, anything that we can add to the bucket when we're not necessarily having to get severe weather to go along with it is going to be a win in my book. So absolutely would love to see that. So I want to go back here to, I'm going to punch up Lincoln Skyview. Again, this is just a live look from our Skyview camera at 40th and Vine. Again, we can see some of the rain there. But again, just right now, good gully washer right now here in the capital city. So we're okay with that. I want to punch back up our current conditions. Again, still 72 at the airport. Again, that wind gust measured at the top of the hour was 56 miles an hour here in Lincoln. I want to see if I can find... Might have to just punch it up on my phone here. We get observations from about every 5 minutes or so from the Lincoln airport. And so, yeah. So we obviously had that gust up to 56 miles an hour. That was reported, again, at 7:54. So call that, 20 minutes ago. And then a little bit after that, 41 mile an hour wind gust. So we've been gusting between about 30 and 45 miles an hour with that peak wind gust up to about 56 miles an hour since about 7:35, so almost an hour or so. We've been seeing some of these stronger wind gusts here in the capital city. But again, that peak gust so far is up to 56 miles an hour. I want to see here also. I want to punch up. This is the Tempest weather stations and the rainfall reported from the Tempest weather stations. And again, I will say with the Tempest weather stations, I think they're great, but the rainfall, it always starts out a little high, and then it kind of corrects itself. So we can see, and again, this updates every 5 minutes. So again, the last update would have been 4 minutes ago. But we can see some of that rain. You can see it started there in the northeastern part of town. That's where we have some of the heavier rainfalls, and really any rainfall amounts right now on this map. But we will see this update here again in just about a minute. But again, well, what's the report, Craig?
Oh, I got hit by some of that sideways rain.
Some of the sideways rain? A little bit of stinging rain.
It's stinging my morning.
And rain that seems to come straight up from the ground. I'm not sure if that's a copyright infringement from the side. Okay. Some Forrest Gump rain humor there. But again, looking back at Storm Tracker radar, nothing severe out there right now, but some strong thunderstorms moving through, gusty winds, could be some small hail mixed in, and also some areas of heavy rain mixed in there for us as well. Let me see here. Haven't seen any new reports of anything of interest from the National Weather Service with this line. We'll put it back into loop mode, and we'll look at it over the course of the last hour. Again, we can see the little gust front, the outflow that went through, sparking off some additional thunderstorm activity across the northern portions of Lincoln and Lancaster County. And now we're just dealing with the thunderstorms that are kind of pushing through the area. So again, this will likely continue for another half an hour, 45 minutes or so. I'm probably not going to stay with you the entire time, but just wanted to at least give folks a heads up that this was potentially going to happen, and again was likely going to impact the morning commute, and it certainly is out there right now. So again, those areas in the darker red right now are where we're seeing some of the heavier thunderstorm activity, stretching from Davie kind of into the western and maybe right across the central portions of the Lincoln Metro. Still have some activity. Again, this is going to be just north of Seward, down in Saline County. But again, this western edge of this line has kind of fizzled a little bit over the course of the last half an hour or so. Again, this part right here, so folks in Seward, fortunately, might be missing out on some decent rain. Have seen some additional activity though pop up here ahead of that kind of decaying western edge in parts of Saline County. So again, folks in Crete, Wilbur, again, might see some of this thunderstorm activity move through Cortland, Hickman, along Highway 77. You'll likely see some of this activity move through. And again, stretching along that Highway 2 corridor from Palmyra out to Nebraska City. Again, you guys are next to see this line kind of move through as we head over the course of the next half an hour to an hour. So again, zooming back in here on the Lincoln Metro. Right now, heaviest rain is across the northern and western parts of the Metro. Again, southern and southeastern parts of town haven't seen the heavy stuff quite yet, but it is coming as we continue to just watch this line. Again, it's not severe, but it is strong, so we'll continue to keep an eye on it. I haven't seen any reports other than the 56-mile-an-hour wind gust at the Lincoln Airport of any other wind gusts here in town. Haven't even gotten any necessarily reports of any rainfall amounts here in town. Let me go ahead and check social media here, see if anyone sent us anything. Don't see anything just yet, so we'll continue to kind of watch. We'll continue to kind of wait, see if we get any reports in. But again, just some good thunderstorm activity kind of moving through town here. Again, gusty winds, maybe some lightning. I haven't really heard any thunder, though, here at the 1011 studios. I haven't really heard any thunder. Again, I think folks over in right along the Nebraska-Iowa border, this area where we kind of have some bowing with this line. Folks in Nebraska City, Dunbar, maybe down towards Peru, Could if it doesn't just skirt to the east, I think that's a part of this line that we should continue to watch. When you kind of get that bowing out a little bit, that's indicative of maybe some stronger, more intense thunderstorms. But again, for the most part right now in the Lincoln Metro, it is just some heavy rain, some heavy thunderstorm activity, and some gusty winds that we are seeing across the area. But again, haven't really had any reports of anything that would cause me any concern with this line of storms that is moving through. So it probably is a little noisy out there, although I do feel like I don't hear the rain as much right now here in Midtown Lincoln, which let me see here. Punch up this. Yeah. So what I might just do here for a little bit is just leave the radar punched up, and we'll kind of just watch things as they move through. And if we need to pop on for just a little bit, we'll go ahead and do that. We'll kind of get it zoomed in, just kind of maybe right about there. Yeah, we'll go ahead and leave the radar just popped up here for a little bit, and we'll continue to pop back on if we need to kind of let you know of anything that potentially changes. Well, it didn't last long. Can't get rid of me that easy, I guess. Again, just wanted to pop back on again here in Midtown Lincoln, again at the 1011 Studios. Again, hearing and seeing some very strong wind gusts right now here in town with, again, some pretty intense rainfall. Again, very efficient rain-producing thunderstorms. So, again, some areas of very heavy rain out there. We'll go ahead and punch up. This is Lincoln Sky View. Again, this is what it looks like from 40th and Vine. Again, a couple hundred feet up in the air. Again, you can see the heavy rain that's falling. And, again, the gusty winds. Again, I can hear it, just hearing the rain lashing the windows outside right now. So, again, strong thunderstorm moving through. Not a severe thunderstorm moving through, though. But, again, certainly one that's making plenty of noise for us. This morning. This is a live look. This is at the Lincoln Children's Zoo again. Again, we can see the rain falling there. You can see the trees moving around a little bit with some of the gusty winds. And certainly hope all the animals are inside and dry over there at the Lincoln Children's Zoo. And this is a kind of a view from the western side of this line, looking back again kind of towards the east. This is from Beaver Crossing, again kind of looking back towards the Lincoln area right now. Let me see here. Again, this is the view from the Omaha Metro. Again, the Kiewit Luminarium. Again, they had some of those stronger storms move through over the course of the last hour, but things have settled down just a little bit right now. I want to go here. Let me see. Reload this page. Currently looking at the LES outage map to see if there's any power outages being reported here in Lincoln, and it does look like we do have 200 or so customers reported without power right now here in the capital city as some of these stronger thunderstorms push through. So again, some of those gusty winds, we had the wind gust report up to about 56 miles an hour at the Lincoln airport. Again, when you have winds that strong, that's when you could start talking about tree damage. Whenever you're talking about tree damage, that's when you could also talk about potentially some power lines being damaged as well. So again, 824, these are the current conditions right now in Lincoln, 69 at the airport, 70 at the studios. Again, at its peak, that wind gust was up to about 56 miles an hour, now down to 39 miles an hour. So again, not quite as strong, but again, obviously we can see the very heavy rain that is falling here in the capital city as well. So we'll go back to Storm Tracker radar, and we'll punch up what we're seeing on Storm Tracker radar. Let me see here. There we go. And again, hearing a little bit of thunder now. I had said I hadn't heard any thunder, but now hearing a little bit of thunder. So again, most of the Lincoln Metro now kind of covered, enveloped by this heavier thunderstorm. Again, moderate to heavy rain, some gusty winds, some lightning. There could be some small hail mixed in there. I don't think there likely is, though, based on what I'm seeing on the radar. Right now, again, I think the best chance for maybe some small hail would actually probably be this cell just to the southwest of Crete in Saline County, kind of along and just to the south of Highway 33. That would be to the west of Highway 103. Again, some of these pinks right here, that would be indicative of, I think, a more intense part of that thunderstorm where you could potentially see some small hail mixed in with that. I've turned the loop on here over the course of the last half hour. Again, that storm popping up really just in the last about 15 minutes. So again, some pretty intense rapid thunderstorm development there. I think that would be probably the best area, most likely area where we could see some small hail. Otherwise, right now here in Lincoln and Lancaster County, it's just some really heavy rain, and it's some gusty winds to go along with it. And all things considered, this is what I would call a win with how dry we've been year to date. Again, more than 5.5 inches below normal for our rainfall through the day yesterday, for our liquid precipitation. So again, if we can get a decent rain, without any flooding issues or any severe weather concerns, again, that's absolutely a win in my book. Again, also have some new activity, new cells popping up. This is going to be over kind of between Syracuse, Odo, and Dunbar. Another little cell kind of popping up there. Again, not severe, but again, some areas of heavy rain there possible just to the west of Syracuse. Also seeing some of that activity pop up from Nebraska City over towards Lorton. So again, gusty winds, moderate to heavy rainfall, maybe some small hail possible with those areas as well. Further back to the north, again, areas like Wahoo, Ceresco, kind of over towards Ashland. Rain has ended or is going to be, I think, ending fairly shortly as this line continues to push through. If I go back here to the satellite and radar composite over the course of the last 4 hours, we can kind of see what these storms look like. I'm going to turn off the lightning, and I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. And we can kind of see what these storms have looked like. This is a cluster of thunderstorms that originally started again across portions of North Dakota and South Dakota yesterday evening. Modeling has not done a very good job kind of picking up and tracking this thunderstorm activity since last night. It's kind of been all over the place, which isn't great. Doesn't really help us out when we're trying to forecast it. But we did have this potential. Again, Chief Meteorologist Ken Shimmick did talk about this last night in the 10 o'clock show, and I know meteorologist Brad Anderson talked about it this morning. Again, hopefully this will all be cleared out. It should, I think, all be cleared out by the time he has to go outside for Pure Nebraska coming up here in about 30 minutes or so. But hopefully, again, should all be cleared out by then so he can get outside. But again, still have some very heavy rain right now falling in Lincoln. If we zoom in and again pause the radar composite, again, you can see some of the heavier and stronger parts of this thunderstorm, at least on the composite radar. Again, not only down near Crete, some of that heavier activity right in the middle of central Lancaster County, again, including in the Lincoln area, and then down here just southeast of Union, just north of Nebraska City, as this whole line, again, continues to basically drift to the south and to the southeast. Although it looks like they're in the last maybe half of that loop, maybe just a slight more eastward nudge with some of that thunderstorm activity. But that's the satellite radar composite. Back to the storm tracker radar. Again, maybe giving us a little bit more accurate visualization of where some of those heavier thunderstorms are. Again, right now in the Lincoln Metro, it's just, like I said earlier, kind of a good gully washer, heavy rain, some gusty winds, but nothing severe. Again, strongest cells with this cluster of storms right now. Again, I'll circle them here. Would be this one kind of near over Crete in Saline County, and then kind of stretching from near Syracuse to Lorton over towards Nebraska City, that little cluster of cells right there. And then obviously again right here in Lancaster County over the Lincoln Metro, where we do have some stronger thunderstorms, but again, not severe thunderstorms, which again, as I've said, we can get the rain without having to deal with the severe weather. That really is the best of both worlds. So we'll again look at real quick. Punch up Lincoln Skyview again for us. There's a live look from Lincoln Skyview here at 40th and Vine. Still have, again, areas of heavy rain. I have not seen any reports into the National Weather Service of anything here in the Lincoln area or across Lancaster County, really, or of anything over the course of the last half an hour or so. Again, so that is good news. Not seeing any widespread reports of any damage or anything like that. So that's what we like to see. Again, Lincoln Metro, 43-mile-an-hour wind gust at the airport at the latest update. 67 temperature at the airport, 68 here at the studios. Visibility down to about a half mile with those thunderstorms. If I punch up the precip, usually I think this only updates on the hour, but we'll see if we'll get maybe a update on the half hour. 3400s at the Lincoln Airport. So again, decent amount. Again, that's over the course of about a half an hour. So that's about 2/3 an inch per hour, which again I think kind of tracks with what we're seeing on the radar there. So again, some decent amount of rain. Again, the tempest stations, take these numbers with a little bit of a grain of salt. They usually start a little high and then come down a little bit. And again, these update every 5 minutes, so we're right probably about in the middle. Updated about 2.5 minutes ago at the 1011 studios, about 1800s. Actually, you know what? I can just pull it up on my phone here too. At my house in kind of the eastern side of town, again, it says 4/10, but again, it usually kind of starts out a little high. And again, it hasn't updated yet on here, but here at the 1011 studios, it says 8200s. Again, it usually starts out a little high and then comes back down. So again, but indicative of some heavy rain here in the Lincoln Metro. Temperatures on the tempest stations across town. Let's see here. In the upper 60s to right around 70 degrees right now on the Tempest neighborhood weather stations across the Lincoln Metro. So again, that tracks with kind of where the airport is right now as well. Temperatures across the state, 60s and 70s out there. Again, Hebron's the warm spot there at 74, 73 in Beatrice. Again, I would expect them to cool down as some of that rain moves in. Dew point numbers aren't terrible. But again, it's sticky out there. Plenty of low-level moisture, plenty of moisture in the upper levels as well for these thunderstorms to tap into to make them efficient rain-producing thunderstorms. You can see the winds there. Some of those stronger winds showing up on the contour, at least you can see across parts of Lancaster, Saline, Saunders, and Polk counties as well. If I punch up the wind gusts, again, I imagine we'd see at the Lincoln Airport, it was gusting up to around 40 miles an hour or so. .43 miles an hour at the Lincoln Airport, 31 miles an hour in York, 25 miles an hour in Nebraska City, 32 miles an hour in Omaha. Again, so here's a satellite radar picture. Look at southeastern Nebraska. I want to, while you guys look at that, reload this power outage map. Again, LES power outage map was showing about 200 customers, mainly in central Lincoln, that were reporting an outage. That number is up to 238 as I just reloaded that there. So about 238 customers without power. So some power outages being reported with this line of storms that's moving through. Not a ton, but some, which again, with gusts 30, 40, 50 miles an hour, you could see some tree branches come down. You could see some tree damage, and you could see, again, some power outages. And we are seeing at least a couple with these storms as they move through. I want to punch up the severe weather outlook for the day today. Again, we do have a marginal risk for severe weather. Again, 1 out of 5 on the severe weather threat scale. Again, that means some isolated severe storms are possible. Kind of like what we're seeing now. We could, have a strong line of thunderstorms, and it could periodically pulse up and become a little bit stronger. Main threat is obviously those damaging wind gusts that we're have seen some of. Again, the gust of 56 miles an hour at the Lincoln Airport. But again, that marginal risk across the northern and far eastern sections of the state for the day today. So again, obviously over the next hour or so, we're going to continue to watch this line as it pushes through southeastern Nebraska for the potential for a few stronger storms, and again for the potential for some areas of heavy rain. For the day tomorrow, marginal risk in the Sandhills out in western Nebraska. Not expecting any severe weather across much of the 10-11 coverage area for the day tomorrow. Friday is probably the next big day we want to watch out for. An upper-level system moving through the northern plains, slight risk across the northern tier of the state into the Dakotas, and enhanced risk across parts of North Dakota, South Dakota, as well as Minnesota. Most of the state covered with a marginal risk for severe weather for the day on Friday. So again, a couple chances for some stronger storms, I think, over the next couple days. Obviously, right now, and then after this morning, I think that next best chance would likely not come until the day on Friday. So again, and we'll watch out. And then we'll obviously continue to watch for some rain chances this weekend as well. Still seeing and still hearing, again, some areas of very heavy rain here at the 1011 studios at 40th and Vine. If we zoom in on the storm tracker radar, again, some of these stronger storms or stronger parts of this activity right across the central parts of town and down into the southern half of the Lincoln Metro. Again, we're at 40th and Vine. So again, here at 1011 Studios, we are, again, about right here. And again, latest radar scan there does have some of that heavier, little wet. Little wet. Some folks trickling in from out in the parking lot, and again, they are very wet. But latest radar scan there, again, does have, again, really that heaviest thunderstorm activity and heaviest rain right across the middle parts of the Lincoln Metro. But again, still don't have anything severe, but it is, again, a pretty strong thunderstorm that is moving through Lincoln and Lancaster County right now. So again, put this back into loop mode. This is going to be over the course of the last hour, and I'm going to slow this down again so it's very slow. But again, we can see some of that heavy rain impacting much of Lincoln over the course of the last 15 to 20 minutes or so. Far western parts of the county, and of the Lincoln Metro. Beginning to see some of this rain come to an end already. As again, the line is moving through pretty quickly. And again, last few frames there on the radar, I feel like do have maybe a little bit more of an eastward trend to its movement. So again, I don't think we're going to see too much more of this across much of the Lincoln Metro. Probably another 15, 20, 30 minutes before a lot of this, I think, comes to an end. So I had kind of singled out this cell down near Crete. It had kind of pulsed up there really briefly, where we saw some of those pinks on the radar return there. That's kind of, again, pulsed down. Again, those pulse thunderstorms, pulses up, gets intense, and then kind of rains itself out and weakens some. So, again, it's decreased in intensity just a little bit over the course of the last few minutes. But, again, still have just some scattered, strong thunderstorms along this line. Again, stretching from portions of Saline County now through kind of central and southern sections of Lancaster County, and again over into Cass, Nemaha, Johnson counties as well. So again, folks downstream of this, again across Johnson, Pawnee, Nemaha, Richardson County, could still see this activity move through. So from Tecumseh over to Auburn, Pawnee City over to Falls City. Again, I think you could be dealing with these thunderstorms as we head over the course of the next hour or two, as this line continues to kind of drift down to the south and to the southeast through the area. Beatrice, I think you might, again, based on the radar trends and the way the radar looks right now, we haven't seen a ton of westward building with this line. So again, Beatrice might kind of get clipped. Parts of maybe northern Gage County kind of might get clipped with these thunderstorms as they move through. But I think chance right now, I think, is pretty small at this point for folks in Gage County. Highest chance for these thunderstorms, again, probably is going to be in this kind of circled area right here as we head through the course of the next hour or two for these additional thunderstorms. And I should also probably circle kind of this spot right here too. But again, I said it before, if we can get the rain, we absolutely want to see the rain. And if we can get it without having to deal with severe weather, widespread severe weather or really intense severe weather, that's probably the best of both worlds. So here's a live look again, Lincoln Skyview. Again, still have rain falling right now at 40th and Vine, but on kind of the left side of the screen there, again, we're basically pointing due north. But on the left side of your screen there, you can see it lightening up a little bit off in the distance. Again, that is the clearing line with this line of storms. So again, it is almost, I would say, done at this point. So again, that's Lincoln Skyview. This is a live look from the Lincoln Children's Museum. Not the Lincoln Children's Museum, excuse me, Lincoln Children's Zoo. Again, you can see wet. Again, a lot of rain still falling there. And this is a look from Beaver Crossing, again, just to the west of town, looking back to the east towards the Lincoln Metro. Live look in Grand Island. Things are pretty quiet there in Grand Island. As again, all this activity, again, impacting far eastern and southeastern Nebraska, not necessarily impacting central portions of the state. I want to see if I can punch up here. If I can find it, I got too many things. Here it is. This is the visible satellite imagery from the College of DuPage. Always something I like to look at. Oh my goodness, where is this at? There it is. All right, and then we can pause it here. So we can see pretty robust line there, a lot of cloud cover with these thunderstorms. So even after the rain is done, I think we're still going to be dealing with a lot of cloud cover. Let's see if we can pick this localized sector. Again, so this is kind of the visible zoomed in on southeastern Nebraska and northern Kansas. You can also see, especially down across portions of north central Kansas there. Still a lot of hazy conditions, still a lot of smoke in the atmosphere, which again is really unfortunate. Again, we've seen some nice days over the last couple days, but kind of been soured by some of the smoke that we have in the atmosphere. So again, one of the things with the rain is hopefully it can help kind of clean out the air, albeit it might be briefly, because we're just going to see more smoke kind of filter into the region. So don't like that. But that's kind of what these storms kind of look like right now on the visible satellite imagery. Again, you can kind of see almost looks like popcorn kernels there in that cloud deck. Those are those updrafts, again, shooting up to the top of the troposphere. Can't go any higher into the stratosphere. Again, that's kind of the lid for our thunderstorms, but we can have what's called an overshooting top, and so that's where you can kind of see that bumpy texture on the top of those clouds or some of those updrafts from some of those thunderstorms. And what we see over the last half an hour or so is less of those. So again, that would be indicative of maybe some of those storms either not being quite as intense, or some sort of overall general weakening with some of those thunderstorms. So that another indication that the line itself is probably reached its peak intensity and likely, going to start to fizzle. So back over here to the storm tracker radar. I'm going to pause it. I want to zoom in here on Lincoln and Lancaster County. Again, the northern and western parts of the Lincoln Metro basically done with rain now at this point, including here, at the 1011 studios. There's still some light lingering rain, but by far and away the most intense rain has basically come to an end at this point for us here at the 1011 studios. Still have some heavier rain, again, kind of along 84th Street, and points in the southern part of the Lincoln Metro down near Nebraska Parkway and stuff like that, Old Highway 2. So still have some areas of moderate to heavy rain, but certainly for northern, kind of central and western parts of town, we're seeing things kind of wrap up as this line of thunderstorms continues to push out of the area. So we'll put this back into loop mode here, and you can see again, and I've kind of mentioned it a couple times, but these last few radar frames showing more of an eastward shift with this kind of line of thunderstorms that has been across at least parts of Lancaster County. So we zoom out a little bit further, and again, we can see between Crete and Wilbur, we still have some activity that we're going to keep an eye on, and again, down across portions of Johnson County, down near Johnson and Brock. Again, storms move through Nebraska City, getting ready to move through Peru. Again, folks in Nemaha, Schubert, down towards Fall City. Still want to keep an eye on these storms as we continue to move through the next hour or two. But some general weakening with some of the activity across Lincoln and Lancaster County. Again, from over near Hallam over to Hickman, Firth, Bennett. Still have some of this heavy thunderstorm activity pushing through the area, though. But rain, again, for the most of the Lincoln Metro, is really wrapping up and coming to an end. So that is the good news. I'll see if I can punch up here, see if we got an update from it at all. I'll look at the observed precip over the last 24 hours. Again, it was up to about 1/3 of an inch at the Lincoln Airport at the last check. I don't know if we've gotten an updated number, about 1/2 an inch at the Lincoln Airport. So again, that's a decent amount of moisture. We'll absolutely take that. 1/2 an inch isn't bad. On the tempest weather stations across town, again, take these numbers on your screen with a little bit of a grain of salt. They usually start out a little high and then come down. Again, these are personal folks' weather stations in the backyard. Some of them, may be mounted and put in the correct place. Some of them may be under a tree or what have you. So they may not necessarily be in the best place to measure that rainfall. But again, here at the 1011 studios, our Tempest weather station, which is mounted on the roof of our gazebo out in the backyard, measuring about 9/10 of an inch. That number will likely come down. Again, these numbers always start out a little high, especially with some intense rainfall rates, and then they come down. The Tempest weather stations, I think they're super great, but again, they do use a haptic rainfall sensor, so it's not necessarily water falling into a bucket that gets measured. It's using some different technology. But again, according to the Tempest weather stations, and again, these update every 5 minutes, so we'll get an update here in about 90 seconds or so, measuring anywhere from quarter to a half an inch to upwards of 3/4 of an inch to an inch across parts of the Lincoln Metro, which again at the Lincoln Airport, the official observation station, they've measured about a half an inch with this line of thunderstorms that's moved through. So really quickly as we wrap things up here, as again storms kind of again are moving out of the Lincoln Metro. I want to punch back up a couple things before we let folks go. One, just a live look at sky views from across the area. Again, you can see the raindrops on the camera in Lincoln and Omaha. At the latest report, again at the Lincoln Airport, 67, winds gusting to 35 miles an hour. We can handle that. That's okay. And then again, just refreshing the LES power outage map. 146 customers now reporting power outages, kind of in east central Lincoln. Looks like kind of along O Street. That number was up to about 240 not too long ago, so that number's come down a little bit. Again, certainly wouldn't be surprised if maybe we did see some reports of tree damage, some branches down, things like that, with some of these thunderstorms that did move through. But really haven't seen anything in the way of any concerning reports that we had into either the Weather Service or into the newsroom itself. Again, still looks like the biggest report we had was that 56 mile an hour wind gust that we had reported at the Lincoln Airport. So I will just one last look here at the satellite and radar before we let folks go. See this line of storms, and again, this is the 4-hour loop. Oh, that's not it. It's still loading. It's thinking about doing it. There we go. So here's that 4-hour loop, satellite and radar composite. Again, these storms have basically pushed through most of the Lincoln Metro, still have some the southeastern part of the county, and then portions of southeastern Nebraska to kind of push through. But again, overall, again, just some strong thunderstorms, not severe thunderstorms. Again, as these storms continue to push through, we'll still watch for some areas of heavy rain and some gusty winds and potentially some small hail, although I only saw a couple reports of some nickel and dime-sized hail, and that was across parts of Cass County and then up near the Omaha Metro as well. So, but again, just some strong thunderstorms moving through, again, potentially impacting that morning commute. Again, if anything severe does pop up, we'll obviously pop back on to let folks know about it. Again, meteorologist Brad Anderson's about to have some of the latest information and forecast coming up in our Pure Nebraska show starting here at 9 o'clock with John and Taryn Vanderford. You'll see me on there again in just a little bit. But as always, make sure you keep it tuned to 1011 both on air and online for the latest. Make sure you have that 1011 Now weather app downloaded on your phone. Again, I sent a notification to that app letting folks know that, like, hey, we're about to talk about some storms moving through the area. Again, make sure you have the 1011 News app downloaded on your phone. I also sent a notification there to let folks know, like, hey, we're talking live about some storms that are moving through. So make sure you got those downloaded on your devices to make sure you can stay up to date with all the latest. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and for watching, as always. Hope everyone stays dry, but again, still have some thunderstorms that are moving through portions of southeastern Nebraska through this morning. But again, just some strong thunderstorms, nothing severe at this point right now, but we'll continue to keep an eye on it. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching. Hope everyone has a nice Wednesday.